It's both a trust and a communication problem.
Okay, what's going on?
Well, I'll give you the most recent example. Saturday night after work, just this past Saturday, my wife went out with a couple of her girlfriends from work, and they went out and had dinner and all that, and she came home a couple hours late, or later than she usually would. And I said, hey, you know, what happened? Why were you out so late? We had bad weather here and everything. And she said that she just had to work late. And I knew right away that she wasn't being honest with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pursued it. And she even, for a couple of days we argued about it. And finally I was like, well, let me get on the internet here and look at your schedule and see what happened. And she finally told me, well, I went out with my friends, and we went out and ate dinner. And, well, why'd you lie to me? Well, I didn't want to get in trouble, so I lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the most recent example. It's been that way with money. She'll go out and spend money, and I'll ask where the money is, and, well, I don't know. I don't know where it is. We must have a mistake at the bank or something. And
okay, so do you think she's seeing another man?
well, no. Her answer always for this is that she feels like if she tells me the truth, then then she'll be in trouble. And I don't know how to make her understand that by her lying to me, it causes worse problems than even if I did get mad about her going out with her friends. I think it's a lot worse for her lying.
Well, certainly. Well, let's see if we can give you some insight into what might be going on there. Sherry, Miley, you have some thoughts?
I didn't want to get in trouble. That just sounds kind of adolescent to me.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds adolescent and it's deceptive. There's something going on, Adrian, because if she was just afraid of getting in trouble, I don't think she would be hiding as many things as she's hiding, but there's layers to it. So, how are you guys connecting? Are you guys connecting emotionally, physically? Are you guys having sex?
Oh, yeah. No, Well, I guess it's pretty regular. It's not on a day-to-day thing. We've been together 11 years. Sometimes our schedule don't allow for intimacy. But when we do have time and we've been together, we do. And it's not just, sometimes we'll be passionate all day long. And I don't mean physically, but, we'll play with each other and talk back and forth.
You're surprised.
And it'll be an all-day thing until we get alone in the bedroom at night. We do have children.
But you're kind of surprised by this. So what if you said to her, you know what, honey, you're not in trouble, but why would you keep this from me? Why would you lie? What is that about?
Maybe, and this is what I think, and I don't want to interrupt you, but maybe, I don't know if I am too hard on her. Maybe she thinks that she needs to lie to me. Maybe she feels it's
well. Once you uncovered the lie,
to lie to me than to come home and be honest. Well, I don't think I'm that mean of a guy.
Do you rage? Are you angry? Do you throw things?
No, I've never been physical with her, violently or in any anger.
Okay, what did you do when you found out she lied?
When I found out she lied, I threw a fit. We argued, and I tried to explain to her that, lying it's tearing my heart up. I don't like not being able to trust my wife. I explained to her I don't mind her going out with her friends, but I need to be able to trust her while she's out. And if she's going to come home and lie to me, then I can't trust her. Even if she is just going out and eating dinner or going and bowling or whatever her and her friends are doing, I just need to be able to trust her.
Hey, Adrian, which one of you gets the most angry?
I would say it'd probably be me. She's more of a breakdown and cry person.
Okay.
That's her defense. She cries, and,
well,
and then I feel bad, and everything blows over, and we never get anything resolved.
We mustn't necessarily call it a defense. We'll call it a reaction. So she'll tend to cry, and you tend to get angry. And oftentimes, people who are married to angry people, or people who get angry, are afraid of them. A spiraling sort of a cluster of events begin to move along where there is this, whatever happened in your childhood we can kind of set that aside for a second. We can just say a secondary set of dynamics begin to develop in the marriage where a person is trying to avoid and evade the angry person. They're walking on eggshells and they're worried about causing explosions. And so they inadvertently, as Sherry said, they start doing behaviors that are more comfortable. If I just don't tell Adrian about this, then I can avoid a problem.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah,
well, it could be that. And that's what we're saying is she might be doing nothing wrong, but she also might be telling you a lie because she's too worried about these fits that you throw because they cause her so much distress. So she picks her distress.
Adrian?
How do I work on my end?
Well, I think you got to start asking questions rather than saying, teaching, throwing fits. I think you have to start asking her, okay, so what do you mean? What are you afraid of?
How have I frightened you, honey? How have I scared you in the past that would make you, not come to me with this in the beginning and let me know, hey, I'm going out with some friends. How have I scared you?
It could be my anger.
Yeah. So you start asking her these questions. Tell me more, honey. Okay, I'm listening. Let me hear you. I want to know everything. See?
Adrian, did your wife have an angry parent? One of her parents angry?
Not that I'm aware of. Her mother died shortly after we got together. It was unexpectedly. She had took too many pills.
Okay, so she didn't have an angry parent?
No,
okay.
No. Well, her father, from what I hear, was kind of like me. He can be real happy, but when something's not the way he likes it, he'll explode, and I'm that way too.
Okay, so then she has a history that precedes you of trying to dance and live around a person who can be happy and explodes, happy and explodes, and she's doing this dance and walking this tightrope between dance and explodes. So
and maybe, Mylon, you're right on to something, because maybe that's why she says, I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like something a little kid would say.
Which goes back to your point, this sounds adolescence. And it certainly is. It is not an adult way to behave. You're absolutely right, Sherry.
Okay.
So should I not get mad when I find out she's lying to me?
No, that's not what we're saying.
Well, it looks like this, Adrian. Under anger, there's one of three things. And if you can write these three things down, it'll kind of help you. When you feel anger's like the bing, 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 bing meter, something's wrong. There's usually hurt, fear, or sadness. One of those three things is underneath anger. Anger's always a secondary emotion. It's always the one, it kind of comes up first because it's stronger, but underneath it, the soft underbelly, are these other feelings that kind of like are scary to go to. They're scary to talk about. There's a lot. It's like the belly, the underbelly.
Right.
So we don't usually lead with those. But if you could say, when you feel anger, if you can go, well, am I hurt? Am I afraid? Or am I sad? And then come to her with that. I was just hurt that you let me out. I was afraid that you might get hurt in this bad weather. And
I feel horrible that you can't tell me the truth. It really makes me sad.
Yeah.
That you don't trust me enough. But it may be less about you, Adrian, and it may be more about her inability to tolerate adult emotions. Because as Sherry started off, that's a very adolescent response.
That makes sense?
It does.
See, adults have to learn how to handle anger because there's anger in the world.
Yep. Things push our buttons, you
That's
know?
Right.
Okay.
So get into couples counseling and ask a therapist to help you talk this through, along with the history of how each of you were trained to either avoid and try to avoid all kinds of confrontation and conflict, or how you were trained that you could become angry and explode. Get into couples counseling.
Okay, let me send you Mylon's book, How We Love. I hope that will give you some great insight into what's going on there.